Hello, Bamiji here with another exploration of a Sun transit gate. And this time we are looking at gate 22. The Sun moves into gate 22 on the 7th of March at 0209 GMT. So I know I won't be up to experience that particular transit, but maybe wherever you are in the world, you'll feel the energy change. Sometimes it's possible to feel these shifts. It depends on so many different things. So where you are, what kind of mood you're in, especially with a gate like gate 22, which is all about moods and it's all about the correct timing and being in the right place at the right time. Actually, that's more gate 29. So, but it is all about timing. So gate 22 is in the solar plexus. So it also tells us then that it's about feeling, it's about emotion. If you have the other end of the channel, or if you have any other activations that are lighting up that solar plexus for you on a consistent basis, then the 22 can really bring you that flavor of the emotionality that comes with it. It has a spike wave. So all of these emotional gates have their own wave. 22, it's a bit like it's a spike. It can be quite powerful. In 1 minute it's not there and then it's there and then it goes again, and it can be, it can really have that. I call it the sort of ER spike. You see it when you're looking at programs that have got an emergency room in them, and you've got that spike going up and down. That's sort of the flavor of this particular gate. It is a gate of openness. It's in an individual circuitry. And you may be getting familiar now with some of these keynotes. Individuality is a keynote there is empowerment. So the gate 22 is about empowering the rest of us, and it has its own individual way of expressing in the world. But through doing that, it empowers everybody else. So it can be a bit of a threat around with individuality because they're doing their own thing and they really only want to do their own thing. But that actually can be quite empowering for the rest of us to see that, okay, maybe I'm tribal in nature, but I can see that, doing your own thing inside, within, around all of that, it can be very healthy. It's finding that balance, finding how it works. This is quite a romantic gate. It can be very passionate, which makes sense when you think about the moodiness that can be involved in that. Passion and moodiness often go together. And it can also be quite melancholic, which also can go with the passion and the moodiness. But all of individuality has melancholy as part of its makeup. This channel that it's part of is the social channel for individuality. By its very nature, it doesn't share a lot. It's doing its own thing. And at some point, that mutative power of being an individual, it needs to get out into the collective. It needs to be part of society's experience. And this is how individuality shows that. It comes out through the 2212, the 12 being a throat gate. So this is the expression for the 22. It's in the right mood. This gate is very attractive to others. It listens well. It's an acoustic gate, and being listened to can be very attractive, can't it? When we really feel that someone is taking in what we're listening to or what we're saying. What else can I tell you about this? Oh, well, it's the moody channel and we live in a duality. So whilst it can be very charming and very open when it's in the right mood, it can also go the other way and can be disgraceful and closed. So this is something to always bear in mind with all of these gates. Look at the opposite and see if that resonates too. So we have the antisocial side coming out, with the gate turning into the gate of disgrace and the gate of antisocial behavior. Nothing wrong with that. It doesn't have to be any kind of a judgment. It's just the way it is, really. So timing, as we know, as you might have sort of starting to hear this as we go through all of these gates and we look at mutation and individuality, timing is a key element of the individual circuit. So when you're holding the potential for mutation, it's really important that you get the time right. because otherwise people are not going to hear you. You know, you release your wonderful truths and your insights into the world, but because the timing is wrong, the social aspect is missing, or the right people aren't there to hear you, or whatever, however it plays out. So it's really important that society is ready for you and that the timing is correct for you to share whatever it is you have to share. Recognizing and acting on timing, you know, it really does come with honoring the mood, and it's about looking after yourself within that. It's not about what society expects of you or what anybody else tries to condition you with. And the only way that that's ever really going to work is when it's played out through strategy and authority. So you are looking at what your type is, and you are either waiting to respond, or you're waiting to be recognized, to receive an invitation. You're looking to see where your impact lies, or you're looking to see what you recognize and are surprised by in your environment. There can be an innate knowing here. There's a knowing within all of individuality. It's a knowing of what is essential, what is new for other people, what can be an impact on other people. This is the gift that comes with grace. And we say impact here, which is a keynote for manifestors, you might remember. And this is half of a manifestor channel. And so if you have the whole channel, then you will either be a manifestor or a manifesting generator if you've also got the sacral defined. And you are here to impact others, whether you are conscious of it or not. Those who carry this gate, they do enjoy listening to others. You know, and they will listen until the process is complete, not necessarily being in a hurry to say their piece if the time isn't right. This is another aspect of grace, really, isn't it? And in this social channel, we're told that it's our responsibility and our privilege to use our social listening skills in a way that makes change available to others. This is mutative, you know, change and mutation are similar terms for the same thing in a way. Now, if there's no gate 12 at the other end of the channel, then it may be difficult to express what one is feeling from this gate. We need to have that channel up to the throat. Otherwise, we could get stuck in our feelings, you know, and it can be very uncomfortable. All of the gates in the awareness centers have certain fears attached to them and inherent in them. And within the solar plexus, we look at them expressed as nervousness. So here there may be a nervousness that there's never going to be anything worthwhile to listen to, or there may never be anyone who will listen to us. It can work both ways in that sense. It's one of those gates where we can learn how to be comfortable with silence. And we can also learn how to be comfortable with our own disgraceful behavior, because that comes with a judgment very often from society. We are still in the quarter of initiation here, and the grounding energy is found in gate 47. And this is an Ajna gate, so we're up in the second center down, and it's the green triangle. This is the gate of realizing, and it's also called opposition. No, it's not. It's called oppression. It's called oppression. This is our now collective circuitry. So you have the collective supporting the individual. It's abstract. It's about experience, and it's making sense of the past. And it's having realizations that come after sitting with maybe a sense of confusion. Experiences can take a long time to filter through, to work through the confusion into like, oh, that's what that was all about. And then carrying it on down the stream through the circuit for expression through the throat, so that everybody can benefit from the realization of what that confusion was all about. But again, it's timing. You know, it takes time for the confusion to percolate, just as the 22 needs to be in the right timing. The 22 has that spike wave associated with it, and there can be a similar feeling. It's not an emotional wave because it's in the head, and the Ajna is connecting those two. The 47 has a similar sort of feeling of, well, it'll be there and it won't be there, and maybe I will find a way of making sense of the confusion, but maybe I won't. And everything happens in its own timing. And while it's not a similar spike wave, because that's individual, it has a sense of a wave of itself. It's the push and the pull of, oh, there's confusion and I've made sense of it, and no, there's still more confusion and we'll still make sense of it. And it's just, works its way through the collective. There can be a sense of despair. A lot of these gates between the head and the ajna carry some sort of melancholy with them as well. So there may be a fear that you will never make sense of the confusion that you feel in your life. Or there may be a real elation when you get that aha moment and everything falls into place. I mentioned before this was a gate of acoustic gate, and it is the gate of the left ear. And that can be an interesting thing to play with. You can have a sense of where the phone rings, and maybe if it's on your mobile, then you see who's calling, and then you can bring some awareness to which hand you pick it up with. And this is going to be difficult to do once you actually know. But if you pick it up with your right hand and put it to your right ear, then maybe you're going to hear exactly what's said in the moment, because the right ear is part of that process that's in the now. Whereas the left ear has that emotional wave attached to it. And so you might get a flavor of what that call is about. You may feel the hope or the pain which are associated with the emotional center. But the actual sort of meat and bones of the conversation may just filter through to you later on as the wave makes its way through. You might find that halfway through a conversation, you're suddenly attracted to it and you swap ears from the left to the right, or the other way around. All of a sudden you feel it's not mental, it's not a sort of thinking process, but you just find that you've swapped ears with the phone. That kind of thing can be really interesting to sort of play with and just see what's happening there. So that's gate 22, the gate of openness, the gate of grace. And I am going to disgracefully say, I'm off down the beach now. Enjoy your life, and I will see you in a few days' time when we look at the next gate. Bye-bye.